All right, we are live. We're live. Hey, welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I'm a comic book artist, and I'm being joined today by a comic book writer, a great one of the greatest of all time. His name is Chuck Dixon. He is best known for writing Batman. I think Batman would be your biggest credit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's certainly the character I've written the most of.
Yeah. Are you done with it? You want to move on? You want to do
Yeah,
something?
yeah. I sort of have moved on, whether I wanted to or not. I'm moved on, baby. I'm going. Oh, I'm out. I'm out of Gotham.
Excellent. Let's talk about what you're doing now, man. How are things? So you're actually from what I saw, you're doing a book called Kill All Men.
Yeah, it's Ravage, Kill All Men, with crazy Ben Henderson.
That guy, he's a lot of fun. I've spoken to him on the phone a few times. He's got Benjamin Henderson is part of this community in a lot of ways. I mean, he does show up in my live streams. He is definitely excited about, kind of finding a new way to offer comic books to the masses when things are kind of getting strange out there. Are things kind of strange out there? What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're strange if you choose to participate in the strangeness. I mean, the mainstream comics gatekeepers are not the whole game anymore. Most of the public is unaware of the nonsense that we have to put up with from the people who look at everything through a political perspective. So I mean, it's strange, but you can step away from the strangeness and make your own reality.
Isn't that the truth? I mean, that is what I think a bunch of us are choosing to do right now. The comic book game gatekeepers aren't necessarily the mainstream people.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's the problem. That's why sales suck. They chased all the readers away.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's there's this whole thing going on. If you're not following comics, by the way, my channel has become largely a Star Wars channel because it's just it's another avenue of of the culture war that I don't think a lot of people in comics are paying attention to. And you have to kind of listen. If they were attacking GI Joe right now, I mean, somebody would have to kind of be watching over GI Joe. But they've already defeated GI Joe.
Yeah.
They haven't quite defeated Star Wars yet, but they're getting there. So most of the people who are probably watching right now aren't really into comics. They don't really understand what's going on in the comic book industry. But it's the same thing, only it's a cancer that has advanced a little bit further than it has in Star Wars already. We do have gatekeepers, and they're all blue-haired land whale weirdos, and they're all. You guys saw the picture I drew of the hipster. I drew a police sketch of what every single soy-based beta male looks like, and they all look like that, Chuck.
Yeah, they all look like that. They all sound like elves.
Oh my God, they do. They sound like elves. They're little pixies. And they're angry. What are they angry about? Shut the fuck up. Stop being angry. What are you mad about?
Yeah, it's not our fault. It's not our fault.
We didn't make you. It's like I'm not your daddy that ran away from home. It's like
I think that's a lot of it. That's a lot of it.
I think you're right. So we have to deal with these people who are basically tearing down the comic book industry. And, my feeling is, Chuck, comic books should contain, most of them should contain a healthy dose of sex and violence.
Yeah.
That's the way things were. I mean, they used to be really like aggressive, like fun, sexy, violent superhero fantasies, mostly for boys. And you'd let girls, and we talk about this all the time on this channel. We talk about how these are boys' properties. They were meant for boys. Now there are girls that do like them, but those girls like them on our terms. Now, if you try to bring in, say, my wife, it's like my wife isn't not watching Star Wars because she doesn't feel represented on the screen. She's not watching it because she doesn't give a shit about Star Wars. She's a woman. She's doing something else. Chuck,
yeah, that's my wife. I mean, she's not into comics or any of this stuff. I mean, she doesn't even know what I write. Just fine with me because I don't want to talk about this stuff 24/7. I want a life outside of it, as much as I love it. But my household's the same way. I mean, my boys are into it, but my wife's like, you're a bunch of geeks.
Now, is there any way that they could get your wife into it?
No, no,
Right.
she'll pick and choose. She likes Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, they talked her into watching that, and she liked that. You know,
Hmm.
but she doesn't go for all of it. We kind of have a sense of what she likes and what she likes the Tremors movies. You know, I
Mm.
mean, so they're cool with her, but she's not she's not into it the way that we're into it, where we've got to see everything and experience all of it.
Chuck, why couldn't you be a gatekeeper in comics?
I almost was. When Denny retired, he offered me the Batman Group editorship. The job was mine, but I couldn't take the pay cut, and I couldn't stand living near New York, so I didn't take it.
Chuck, I want you. I'm appointing you as the new gatekeeper of our comics movement. We're changing your name to Chuck Dix Out instead. That is what you're going to be from now on. Your new name is Chuck Dix Out, and we are throwing all of these people out of here. All of them. We are Viva la Resistance. That's right.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Right. We are the Renaissance.
yeah. We got the Bastille now. So,
Mm, absolutely. We got to chuck these people out of here and change the way comics are made. So let's talk about how you met Ben Henderson.
well, like you meet anybody these days online, you know, he approached me and asked if I wanted to be part of his cautionary comics, this new lineup. If I wanted to participate in any way, and he meant, like, you know, if I had any properties I wanted to bring him to add to his line. And but when he talked to me about this Ravage comic that he had thought of, I just fell in love with the idea. I couldn't stop thinking about Ravage. I mean, obviously, I got creator-owned properties I'd like to present to him, but
Hmm.
this Ravage, you know, this idea of this island full of, you know, savage women, this matriarchal society that only uses men for reproduction, basically hates men, and these two hapless clowns who end up on the island. I saw this great buddy comedy at the heart of it, and I saw what Ben was going for, and I really wanted to help him make it happen. And
Hmm.
so, you know, he very graciously allowed me to take the wheel for a while and contribute a lot of new material and help him, you know, get to where he wants to be with this property.
Now that's the thing about Ben Henderson. He does have a lot of his own ideas, but he is looking for help. And this is a guy who is excitable but humble, and he is looking for input at all times from seasoned industry pros. I think he came to the right guy to choose you. My question for you is, kill all men. That sounds totally soy based. It sounds like a total third wave feminist piece of garbage. Where am I wrong?
Well, we're going more for a 1970s grindhouse, you know, like Island of Prehistoric Women. I mean, that kind of stuff. No, feminists aren't going to be happy with this because we're basically warning the world about the dangers of a matriarchal society. I mean, once upon a time, back when we were still living in caves, most societies were matriarchal, and they were all based on, you know, blood and sex and death and human sacrifice and things like that. You know, we got away from that. You know, the men took charge.
Thank God.
And got away from that. I think the hold that women had, I'm convinced that women invented agriculture. I mean, you had a bunch of primitive guys chasing the herd. They were chasing the buffalo, they were chasing the bison. And then one spring, the women said, to hell with this. We're not leaving. We're staying here. Find a way to feed us without running off. And
Mm,
so they invented agriculture to keep the women happy.
I love that. That's brilliant. That's absolutely terrific. So, for my first question, though, beyond that, my second question, I should say, are these women hot?
Well, yeah, it's a comic book. Come on. Of course, they're
Oh,
all
no,
hot.
no, no, but no, no, no. You can't say that anymore.
Oh, I know. Yeah, what am I thinking? What am I
Yeah,
thinking?
yeah,
No,
you
no.
didn't feel that way.
This isn't the new Miss America pageant. They're all, you know, they all got it going on.
Awesome. I love it. That's good news. So we got a whole lot of hot chicks. They're in a matriarchal society, and they're going to kill every single man. They're going to kill every single man, and then what are they going to do?
Well, they're going to wait for some more men and then kill them. It's a
And then,
society that's been reproducing itself, you know, and only keeping the girls' children around. You know,
yeah.
and I'm not revealing anything here, but there's a lot of other secrets they have that will be revealed as the story goes on. They're
Um,
not, you know, it all looks like a Dear Penthouse Forum story, you know, until these poor guys get into the secrets of this island and what these women are about.
God damn, this sounds cool. This sounds so cool, and I love the idea of taking Grindhouse, just kind of that, those old kind of almost creepy like movies that they're not even B movies, they're like C movies, and then just a lot of violence, a lot of sex, and then making a whole comic book company based around that. This
Yep.
book sounds pretty great. Where is it right now? Where can I get it? Where can I get Kill All Men?
Well, we're on Indiegogo, and
Ah,
you look for Ravage Kill All Men. You can Google my name. You can Google Ben Henderson's name, and it'll pop up. And we're pretty far along in the process, but we still need a few bucks to make this happen. And it wouldn't hurt if we got beyond the few bucks we need, for some stretch goals and some tchotchkes and giveaways to the loyal followers who help contribute.
yeah, guys, Dick's out for Chuck. We really do need to contribute to this book. Let me see if I can find it here. I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna link it in the chat. I should have linked it. Chuck, I'm so bad at this. I really am so bad at this. I can barely remember how to put links into the chats when I go live, and everybody yells at me all the time about it. But I'm gonna call this up real quick. We got Ravage, Kill All Men, Indiegogo. We are at 11,606. The number of the beast, 11, and then the number of the beast. So we want to, all you good Christian men out there and women, and there are quite a few. I need you to come change this number, because the number of the beast is not a good thing. So here's the link. I'm going to put this in the chat right now. I need you guys to go and buy a copy of Kill All Men. It basically goes to show ultimately that if you have more than one woman alone together, they will engage in witchcraft. Or is that true? Do you think, like, if you see women, like a bunch of women together, it's either a Tupperware party or witchcraft? True or false?
Well, I think if you have too many women in your life, you got more problems than you can handle. You are in living hell. The best thing men can do is restrict as many women as they have in their life.
Oh my God! Yeah,
get too many, and it's a problem. It's a problem.
One is enough, and people say that to me all the time. They're like, "Hey, you grew up Mormon. How many wives do you have?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, you're Mormon. You can have multiple wives." I'm like, I don't want one. Is plenty. One is good. I mean, if you have more than one, did you see that show Big Love?
Yeah, I've seen parts of it. Yeah.
Where's Bill Paxton now?
Yeah.
I mean,
I always like that line Bill Murray has in Stripes. I have to read books on the outside just to keep up with you. I mean, I can't keep up with my wife. She's got it all over me. She runs the house. The dog thinks I'm in charge, but he's the only one.
Oh, these dogs. They're so good. Man's best friend.
That's absolutely.
Man's best friend. So what else is going on? You've got something else actually that I just saw. You're working with another artist. You're doing a book called Jungle Comics. Now you're all over the place right now. That's a Kickstarter campaign, though, isn't it?
I think that's also an Indiegogo, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat real quick said Paxton died. Ethan, that was the joke, Glenn. That was the joke. Yeah. So okay. So we got something else. It's called Jungle Comics. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Well, I've always wanted to go back to those old jungle characters from the 40s and 50s, Kanga and Rula and, JoJo and all those Tarzan knockoffs, and turn that genre on its head, because I love Lost Safari stories and Lost City stories, and I love Tarzan. And when Ben Dunn approached me, he's doing this like public domain universe of forgotten characters. He said, would you want to contribute here? And I said, man, if you'd let me bring back Jungle Comics, it was literally called Jungle Comics. It was from Fox Features. And I said, I would be in hog heaven. And so he hooked me up with Kelsey Shannon, whose artwork is freaking amazing and right on the money. And we're kind of updating and just switching this genre around on itself. But it's going to have all the stuff you want in a jungle genre story, but not in the way you expect it.
I want half-dressed women fighting cheetahs.
We're going to have that. We're going to have dinosaurs. We're going to have a lost city. We're going to have, guys wrestling crocodiles. I mean, and there's a little bit of a sense of parody running through it, but we're having fun with the genre. We're not making fun of the genre, but there's definitely some humor elements, because I can't seem to keep a humor element out of my work. But you're going to get all of the stabbing and swinging through the vines and all that stuff that you love in a jungle story.
Oh man, I can't wait. That is so awesome. There goes my computer acting silly. Oh look, we're selling some comics. We're selling some comics. I just checked on Ravage Kill All Men. Somebody took the number of the beast away from it.
Awesome.
Let me just go through this here. So let's talk about Ravage Kill All Men. So if you these perks are back. Oh, the featured perk is first. I was going to say there's a $500 featured perk. It's original page of art from Ravage #1. You're going to get an original page from the artist. Who is the artist?
I'm gonna plead ignorance here. The names escape me.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. So, how come it doesn't say this? How come it doesn't have the name of the artist?
Okay, well, I know Ben's listening. Ben, you need to fix that. You need to put the name of the artists in.
Yeah, it says prolific writer Mr. Chuck Dixon has joined forces with Benjamin L. Harrison, founder, writer, creator, EIC of Cautionary Comics, to develop his original action-packed comic book titled Kill All Men. So one would think that, oh, here we go. On the comic itself, Benjamin gives himself second credit. You've got top credit, top billing. Jimbo
He's too
Salgado.
generous. He's too generous. Yeah.
You deserve it. I don't want you. No false humility. You deserve it. Jimbo Salgado, who is a Marvel Comics artist, so it's going to be of high quality. Actually, the cover looks kick-ass. There's a hot-looking chick on a gigantic panther, on a girthy panther. She's riding it. She's riding a girthy panther, and it looks pretty great. All right, so for $5, you get a thank you and a VIP membership. For $7, you get one printed copy of Ravage #1. So it's only $7 to get a copy of this book. You got to get this perk. You got to pick that perk up at the very least. There's an alternate cover for $7 too. Who did this cover? This is alternate cover by Gibo Vigante. My parents cheated me when they named me. They really did. Ethan Van Sciver's okay. I'd prefer to be called Gibo Vigante. How about you?
No, I'll stick with my own name.
Chuck Dixon. I would too. Chuck, that is awesome. You could definitely be like a martial arts. Could you be a martial arts?
I don't know.
Movie star?
Sportscaster, maybe. What's that name?
Yeah. What were you like when you were a kid? Were you kind of into sports?
No. I was into running around. I was active, but I wasn't into sports. I'm not coordinated. I'm a big guy. One of those big guys. They always wanted me for football, basically to crash my head into some other big guy every weekend. But
yeah, that's how I have to admit, when you meet Chuck Dixon, he's a very big man. He's got wide shoulders, and I wouldn't be surprised. Handsome man, Chuck.
Oh,
if you don't mind my saying so, handsome. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that Chuck Dixon was a professional athlete in high school. I wouldn't have been surprised to learn that, but it turns out that no. Are you a sports fan? Somebody who wants to broadcast sports?
No, not really. I like reading about sports, oddly, because it's pretty close to comics because it's always hyperbole and exaggeration. But I like reading about it, but I don't follow any sports. If I get asked to go to the ball game or go to the hockey game, yeah, I'll go in a heartbeat. I love watching it live, but I don't follow teams or anything like that.
All right, so for $10, Chuck, you can get 2 signed prints from Ravage. For $25, you can get 2 copies of Ravage #1. Look at this. They got a T-shirt. $30, you get Ravage #1 and a T-shirt. Get this perk. And $50, you get 2 signed copies of Ravage #1. Wait a second. I thought I already... Oh, they're signed. Are you going to sign all these?
Yeah, I'll sign them. I'll sign till the cows come home. And the T-shirt deal, I think that's the best one. That shirt's pretty good. Yeah,
the T-shirt is pretty great. Don't do this. Don't get the Richard Pace Ravage print. That guy's a dick. It's $125. Don't get that. Skip that one. Get the $150 one though. It's 2 #1s and 2 prints. And then there's $200. You get 1 item signed by Chuck Dixon. So that's really, really great. You guys, this is all on you. This is how to make these things succeed. We can have nice things if we allow ourselves to have nice things. We can make this industry rock and roll. We've just sold. We're up to 11,850 now. Thank you guys out there. I'm going to put the link in the chat once more. The thing about it is that we got to get this one funded. We can have the kind of industry that we want to have if people actually are aware of what's going on. And
we can get the comic. We can get the comics we want.
Well, that's correct. Not everything has to be some blue-haired SJW piece of garbage. You don't have to be preached at about pansexuality in your comic books if you don't want to. You don't
And
have
you
to.
don't have to keep buying shit comics you don't want just to hope that maybe they'll get better someday and your collection will be complete. I mean, it's just
They never will.
No,
they never will get better.
No, they're never. They've had every opportunity to listen to the readers and turn this ship around, and they're just not interested.
No. They're getting worse, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, they're absolutely getting worse, and I don't understand why they don't realize that the audience that we have right here is the audience for comics. I mean, these people that are joining us here, we've got 877 people on a Monday afternoon. A Monday afternoon, 887 people now watching this chat, listening to us talk about what comics are and should be and could be if we only got up our asses and made it so. I don't understand how the industry can collapse around itself and people not respond with more activism such as this. And it's creative activism. It's not just standing there and saying, hey, you know, you're a racist and a bigot. It's actually producing beautiful comic books, sexy, violent, fun, exciting comics that you would have to hide from your mom. And I do. I hide my comics from my mom. My mom does. She doesn't need to know.
Well, the thing is, this used to be a nimble industry. It had to be to survive because the margins were so tight. And they would change on a dime. They would see what the readers wanted, what they were responding to, and then alter the publication plans to suit the reader. And that, man, they forgot about that decades ago. They don't even pay attention.
Well, we used to say that. We were talking about this the other day when Julius Schwartz would go and talk to the kids on the street and say, what do you want Superman to do? And they'd say, we want him to fight a purple dinosaur. And then boom, you know, the next issue, Superman would be fighting a purple dinosaur. And why the hell not?
Well, you know, my favorite is when Joe Kubert and Norman Maurer created the 3D comic. And they got into it and they made a fortune, but they talked to kids and they knew when the fad was ending and they got out before everybody else and kept their money. I mean, that's brilliant. You know, go down and ask the kids, those 3D comics, they're not cool anymore. Oh man, we're getting out of 3D comics today. You know? That's the way you have to be in comics because, like I said, the margins are so tight. There's no money to be made unless you're smart.
You got to have your finger on the pulse. And by the way, you have to flatter your audience and love your audience. You guys, we got 936 people in here, 942 actually.
Wow.
You guys are some of the most incredibly wonderful people that I've ever seen. And you're smart and brave, and we love you, and we're listening to you. We're listening to you, which is why I'm going to put the link to Kill All Men in the chat one more time. Guys, I need to get this funded, man. I want to get this book funded today. I want it to actually get past that mark, and this book needs to come out and succeed because it sends a message. It sends a message to it sends a message to some of these weirdos who are taking every opportunity to produce books to scold, harass, abuse, demean the audience. It sends a message to the people who talk about how comics has a white male problem. Yeah, you're damn right. Not enough of them are buying comics. That is
seriously
the white male problem right now.
When you're trying to turn away 70% of your audience. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No, we want to love everybody. We don't care what color skin you have. We don't care your sexual preference. We don't care your gender. We don't care about any of that. We just want you to buy our comics, and that is the attitude. And by the way, thank you when you do. Thank you, and thank you to everybody who right now, as I put this in the into the chat again, boom, let's put it in there. Those of you who are actually clicking on that link and you are spending your $7 or $10 or $50 or $500 to buy this comic book. You are appreciated. You are definitely loved. We are now over $12,000. Thank you so much for picking it up. $12,034, 456 backers. We only need to hit the $15,000 mark. That's all. So we only need less than another $3,000 to make this happen. And you guys, that's on you. That is on you. These comic books. Look at these women on the front cover. These are beautiful, beautiful women. These are women that men would love to look at. These are women that women would like to be. And what is wrong with that anyway? What is going on with comics that they're changing the characters that used to be beautiful females? They all look like Rachel Maddow now. What is going on?
Yeah,
Why? What?
yeah, I don't know. It's like they're bleeding all the sexuality out of everything, and at the same time trying to determine, I don't know, promote one sexual preference over another. Which it's like, what are you doing? What is this about? You
We
know,
do respect women. We do respect women, and we do respect these women. I respect these women when I
yeah.
see
Well,
them in that lake.
they pretty much demand it, but
They got it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we're not putting this comic out to put anybody down. We're just it's just fun, escapist entertainment.
You better believe it. Let's see what some of these super chats say. Jesus, hey, how you doing, Jesus? Thanks for $5. Thank you, Chuck, for Bane. Always saw him as Cuban personally. Hey, Ethan, did you see my Twitter DM? God bless you both. Cuban Superman. Cuban Superman, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen your.
A lot of
would,
I'm down here in Florida, and trust me, a lot of Cubans feel the same way. I run into them at shows all the time down here. He's their own personal hero.
do you feel like it's possible the Bane is Cuban?
Yeah, well, I mean, Santa Prisca obviously was a
Mexican, right?
stand-in for Cuba.
Oh,
Totalitarian place that Bane came from. Horrible, political prisoners and all that jazz. So he's a product of the Castros. Blame them for Bane.
thank you. The Astros did something good.
There you go.
I'm not Tyler. Thanks for $5. Chuck, how does Bane feel about SJWs, and what political party would he lean towards in 2018? That's a trick question. Go ahead.
Yeah. He's not at all political. He's creating his own world for himself. So that's not happening. I don't think he'd like communists a whole lot. So
I think he'd be interested in legalizing drugs. I will say that.
Yeah. He'd want to. I figure that Bane eventually someday wants to go legit because he doesn't see himself as a criminal. He sees himself as a wronged innocent.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all? Let's see. 300 an hour. You got to respect women. Yeah. Listen, we're doing really, really good. Let's check that again. Let's see how the total is. Oh, wait. Before I do that, I'm going to put this right in the chat one more time, guys. This is the link. You see that? You see my Comic Artist Pro Secrets? There's a crown right next to my name. That means I'm the king of this little, this tiny little domain. But I've let Chuck Dixon in. He's a foreign dignitary, but he is welcome here and he is receiving all the respect he's entitled to. But there is the link right next to my crowned name to go and contribute to the city Indiegogo. Show these people exactly what it is that you're looking for in comics. It's not going to cost you very much. It's $7 or something like that. Yeah, don't put down the Burger King for one day and go and spend that. Well, you don't have to put that. You can do both probably, but I mean, go spend that money on a copy of Kill All Men. The Umbrella Guy's here, amazing broadcaster himself, great respected journalist in the Comicsgate community. Thanks for $5. Chuck and EVS fighting the good fight. God bless. Well, God bless you, brother, and keep up the good work, your own damn self. And we're going to see that as we refresh. We just sold another $300 worth of comics. We are now at $12,306. We have 466 backers. This is what it's all about, guys. I mean, this is. Am I a little like Jerry Lewis right now, or
or a little QVC there?
A little QVC or PBS.
Oh yeah. Well, no, you're not shameless. You're not
shameless. Well, I don't have any duffle bags.
You're not threatening anybody. Like, oh, you won't get any more comic books unless you send money today.
I might, though. Guys, the comic book industry is dying, and it's on you. Do you understand that this is all publicly funded? It depends on your $7. Your $7 makes a big difference. So we could show you a few more Bob Ross painting specials.
Yes, or comics will go away forever.
They will go away, or they will be completely taken over by what's her name? Who's the Gamergate girl that just took over at DC Comics?
I wish I followed this stuff, but I don't. Well, I'm glad I don't follow this stuff. I don't follow this stuff that closely.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to. I mean, that's not important.
I've never been interested in office politics or any of this nonsense that's going on now. So
I'm very interested. Oh, Zoe Quinn. Yeah. So Zoe Quinn, if you guys do not pony up $7 right now for Kill All Men, Zoe Quinn is literally going to kill all men. So it's your choice. It is your choice right now. Anita Sarkeesian's next. I believe she is going to take over Pablo Hidalgo's job on Star Wars. It's trouble. It's absolute trouble right now, and it really does depend on you. Richard Adams, thanks for $5. SJWs de-idealize heroes because it's damaging to have a standard. Ooh, what a great comment.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that's been going on a long time. just tearing down these icons, you know, that you know, kids look up to. You know, they offer kids a you know, a role model. I mean, I'm sure you're the same way. You grew up with comics. I mean, you know, I thought about what Batman would do, what Tarzan would do, or what Jesus would do in almost any situation.
Absolutely, and I never once thought about what Stephen Colbert would do, and unfortunately, that is the standard that's being offered to men today, and that is why they all look like soy boys. Hey, what would you know? What would what's that other dude? What's that big dude with the fake British accent? That mincing little what's his name? You don't watch any of these late night shows, do
No,
you?
I do not.
Oh my God, they're just terrible. They're just.
I watch Audie Murphy movies late at night.
Oh my God, yeah, Audie Murphy, what a hero, a legitimate hero,
A legitimate hero,
legitimate
legitimate
hero.
badass too. Little tiny
Absolutely.
guy that you know. I watch these westerns with Audie Murphy, and I can't help thinking this is the last thing whole lot of Germans saw. This guy.
Audie Murphy, yeah. If you guys don't know who Audie Murphy is, I mean, he was a legitimate war hero, World War II hero, who became a movie star, a big star in the late 40s, early 50s. Legitimate, yeah. Really great. So he is kind of a proto John Wayne. I think John Wayne probably learned a bit from Audie Murphy. John Wayne was around at the same time, but Audie Murphy was definitely the real deal. People are saying that the person that I was thinking of, not Graham Norton, but that's close. No, it's John Oliver. John Oliver.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
People want to cultivate his look, Chuck. They just grow a beard. They look like, picture him with a long, scraggly beard that's unkempt, and that is that is yeah, that is sad. That is what a Zoe Quinn infested comic book world is going to look like, and it really is up to us. We try to keep it soy free around here. There is a little bit of soy, but we do try to keep it soy free. If you want to keep it soy free, I'm going to put that link in the description one more time. You got to do this. You got to support Chuck Dixon Comics. Chuck Dixon is the creator of Bane. Chuck Dixon is the creator of Timothy Drake.
No, well, I helped build Timothy Drake. So. And co-creator of Bane, I got to give Graham Nolan credit, or he'll come get me. So.
Yeah, we do gotta get. Well, you know, we should get Graham Nolan in here one time. I don't think I've ever had him on the show.
Yeah, you got to get Graham Nolan on.
Would he be fun?
Oh, he's hysterical. He's hysterical.
Awesome. I'll get him in here. There are a lot of people here. Yeah, they're saying a lot of people are talking about Anderson Cooper. Yeah, this is the thing, guys. This is the modern male, and it is a shame. We can't allow our kids to grow up like this. We do need to provide them with an alternative. Oh, we're up to $12,548. Wow. 475 backers. We have raised about $1,000. A little less than $1,000 over the course of about 30 minutes. So that is the power of this audience. That is the power of good comics.
You're killing it, Ethan. You're like Joan Rivers raising this money.
Now, I'm not like Joan Rivers. I mean, maybe Melissa Rivers. I don't know. But yeah, absolutely. This is what you have to do. You got to get out there and talk to the people and just say, guys, seriously, this is where we're at right now, and these are the creators that matter in this day and age. These are the voices that need to be amplified. And it is true. I mean, you know, Chuck, have you seen my character Cyberfrog yet?
Yes, very cool. Cool.
I mean, this is very, very exciting. I mean, you know, a chance to kind of step away, build our own comic book industry based on these new iconic characters that we are creating. They're destined to be iconic characters if they aren't already.
Absolutely, and you know, we get to make the deals now instead of someone making the deals for us. And it's the garage band era of comics now. We're just doing it ourselves.
It's totally punk rock. It's totally punk rock.
Absolutely. There's no controlling legal authority, as Al Gore used to love saying.
Oh, I love that. I love the idea that we can basically do and say whatever we want, and we're doing it right now. And we're just kind of saying, look, this is the truth about where comics are going. If you feel fishy, if you feel funny going into a comic book store these days, watched over by a character that looks like a lump fish with a blue wig from behind the cash register and thick black spectacles scowling at you because you look like you might have voted the wrong way. We can't have that. That's not what comics are supposed
you pulled
to be.
Up in the wrong car. You know,
Yeah, you pulled up in a car with a Trump. I voted for Trump.
or
Hillary voters are my
you pulled
speed
up in a
bump.
car with more than 4 cylinders. They look at you sideways.
Oh, I love that. I drive an SUV and I drive it by myself because I want to hear my laughter echo inside the car. That's as I think about my carbon footprint. So I know
I drive
exactly.
a '98 Suburban,
Oh, really?
big
It,
350.
that is gorgeous. I love
Yeah,
those, man.
just
Those
had
are
it
terrific.
reconditioned, bumper to bumper. I love it. I'm going to
Jason,
be buried in that car. Viking funeral.
Jason, thanks for $10. So you sure you're not thinking of James Corden? He's that British card karaoke douchebag on late night TV. No, he is chubby. I don't mean that. James Corden looks like he's at least well fed. When I think about a soy boy, I think about a very, very skinny, super skinny, almost anorexic fellow with too much facial hair and one eyebrow perched up, like he's looking at you, like he thinks he's bemused by you when you're looking at him like he's some kind of a reptile, and he is a reptile. So James Corden, at least he is well fed. I admire that he. And I don't know, is he a douchebag? I'm not there with you on James Corden. I'm okay with him. I can't stand that John Oliver dude. Oh my god. If I could kill one person in the world, like with my brain, it would be Stephen Colbert. I would.
Oh
I
my
would really
God. Yeah, I'm with you. We should all, maybe that's what we should do next. Concentrate our brain power.
focus our psychic energy. Like if I were only force sensitive, if I were, I mean, right now I'm force insensitive, but if I were force sensitive, I would be like, and then just hope like his head just exploded in the middle of a broadcast. God, that'd be great.
Yeah, just for crimes against comedy.
Oh my, he thinks he's so funny.
That
So
guy is the
smart.
most unfunny guy on the planet. Even when you give him a script written by somebody else, he can't make it work.
Really good, Chef. Thank you for $2. Has Chuck seen the Steven Crowder Bane parodies? That's a good question.
No, I have not. Although I'm going to look them up as soon as I'm off here. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, Steven Crowder's a good guy. His partner, Not Gay Jared, is a friend of the show. So
cool, very cool.
Yeah, it's nice. Do look that up. People are saying the Force is female. I don't know if that's true at all. People are saying Colbert is not funny. I agree. And let's put that link in the chat one more time. Hey, Chuck, is there anything that you want to do? Do you have your own property, your own character right now that you are thinking about turning into your own book? I mean, right now you seem to be helping out other people. You worked for a little bit at Arkhaven. Now you're working with Ben. You're just kind of a hired gun. Are you thinking about going out on your own?
Yeah. See, because do it before and didn't get very far. There's a talent, there's a knack for doing this, and I'm assembling the knowledge from people who are far more adept at it than I am. But contrary to popular belief, my name does not open all doors or anything like that. I don't seem to have the power that everybody thinks that I have, but I've got to leverage it in a way that I can start funding my own creator-owned projects.
Well, Chuck, your name opens all kinds of doors around here. You are well known for being an incredible creator, a great guy, someone who does speak his mind, somebody who is not afraid to speak his mind, and never has been. And yeah, like all of us, you've been punished for that. But by the way, we just jumped up to $12,844, 490 backers. Thank you.
Man, you are killing it for us here.
Thank
you, Ethan. Yeah, you're killing it. Your people are killing it.
It's not me. It's the fans out there. The fans just need to know about this, and I'm telling you, I told them this the other day, Chuck. I said, look, we are in your hands. We are in your hands. We are just comic book creators who are speaking our minds. Maybe you agree with us, maybe you don't. But at some point, when we are going to cross our arms in front of our chests, close our eyes and fall backwards. It's a trust exercise.
Oh.
If we give you the kind of comics that you guys say that you want, will you support them? Will you back them? Will you spend $7? Will you spend $25 to support these comics and make the comic book industry a better place? Will you do that?
Yeah, and we're eager to produce them. And we're sitting here ready. And I've got hands poised above the keyboard, ready to make, the kind of comics I think that the audience wants to read.
Absolutely, and by the way, you're somebody who can do it. Not everybody can. You're a writer who has written the greatest and best remembered Batman stories of the last 30 years. Can we say 30? 30 is too long, right? That's the 80s.
Yeah,
so we're looking at the 90s, 20.
Well, the 90s. See, I own the 90s pretty much at DC.
25 years, I'd say. You know, that is you. Jacob Beal, thanks for $5. This art student is ruining his career before it starts by giving $7 to Chuck Dixon's Ravage. Hashtag don't tell my teachers. Good for you. Actually, I think it will actually help your art career. It will be inspiring to you, and you have to take in order to create, you do have to take in the proper fuel, and a nice Chuck Dixon comic about beautiful women is definitely the proper fuel. Tim Evans, thanks for $5. Mr. Dixon, your run on Robin is one of my all-time favorites. Thanks for the stories. Kill All Men has been backed.
All right.
Yeah, so these people are responding to people. People like Chuck Dixon. People love Chuck Dixon. Booker T says, "Chuck, you looking real jacked, baby." But he always says that. He says that to me too. He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it. I always look in the mirror and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking real jacked. Moose Bauman says, "Does Chuck Dixon need a color?" Chuck Dixon need a color? So the answer is no. Moose, get the fuck out of here. Go F yourself. Let's see. The Force has no genitalia that we know of. Wrong. When you say the Force is female, Chuck, these women who have T-shirts that say the Force is female, what do you think of that?
They're appropriating something that doesn't belong to them, and they're restricting the rest of us from projecting on these. Right. I mean, we want to project our own whatever on Star Wars. You want to project yourself on Superman or whatever these things you like. You have to leave the readers or the viewers or the audience room to project themselves on these properties. You got to leave some openings. When you start making it that specific and that much agenda driven, you're driving people away. It's the same old story.
Well, also, not to drive all the female fans of Star Wars away, and there are billions, I'm sure, but the Force actually binds and penetrates us. Do women penetrate, or is that a masculine trait? The Force is male. It has never been female, and the sooner people accept that, the better. Armageist, thank you for $5. Too many cis white males in late night comedy. Replace Colbert with a POC, and that he means a person of color, not a piece of crap. Although you could replace Colbert with a piece of crap and nobody would notice.
Oh, it would be an improvement.
It would be a
literal piece of crap at the desk. A chimpanzee at that desk would be an improvement.
Absolutely,
I'd watch that every night.
I would too. Remember when monkeys used to be on TV all the time?
Oh,
what was it? DJ and the Bear?
I want a monkey channel, and I've said this for years. Why isn't there a monkey channel? I want to be able to turn on the TV anytime, 24/7, to see monkeys. What's wrong with that? There's certainly enough material out there.
Yeah, I really Trump's Gorilla Channel, make it happen.
Yeah,
I mean, my God.
Yeah, seriously.
My God, Epic Trilogy, thanks for £5. Proud to back both of you. Thanks for speaking out. Well, we're loudmouths. We have nothing better to do. Let's check out.
We're talking to ourselves.
We're happy to let you listen in. This is the way that we talk to each other, absolutely in private. Okay, so now we're up to $12,996, 498 backers. Somebody give this thing $4 so we can get to an even 13 grand. It's just $4 away from being $13,000, and then we're only $2,000 away from this thing being backed. At which point we began to bring in the profits, and there's a month left. We want these people to actually get rich, make money, buy cars. You guys can make that happen. You guys can make that happen yourselves. You can reward people who are producing the greatest comic books, the greatest new comics of this new comic book generation. All you have to do is spend your $7 or so. Absolutely. Chuck, if you could go back now, if you could go back in time and fix anything about comics, where did we go wrong? What would you change? Is there something that you would change? Is there an attitude that you would change? Is there a moment where things went bad?
I think it's when they let a lot of fanboys into the business to run it, and all they cared about was superhero comics, and they walked away from every other genre. And it's just it was a precursor to what's going on now. They left a lot of the audience behind because people don't realize in the 70s when this was going on, the industry was driven by war and Western comics, not superheroes. And the superhero editors bled talent away from the war and Western titles, driving the quality down, and then the sales went down because people aren't going to buy bad comics. And they put everything in that superhero basket. And horror comics are what they called mystery comics at the time. They sold well too. I mean, they were the bread and butter for DC and Marvel, and they just sort of walked away from that to do the guys in capes. Which hey, I like superheroes too, but I like all kinds of comics. There's just not enough variety. Well, now there's no variety at all, and now the one flavor they have left, they've pissed in.
They're ruining it, aren't they? They're just not, the superheroes are not the way that they should be. They're not the way they used to be. And we're trying to do things differently. I think that they made a mistake when they stopped publishing frog-based comics. I'm fixing that with Cyberfrog.
The whole line of amphibian comics is
the fanboys just walked away from them, and they really, I mean, they shouldn't have. Obviously that's a big deal. And you doing jungle comics. I mean, bringing back a new genre. That had, like Tarzan, the kind of adventure, rugged comics for men. Camden Mazzoni, thanks for $2. Backed jungle comics. You need a digital tier for Ravage, though, he says. So that might be something that you want to do.
Fantastic.
Yeah, John Smith comes in with Canadian $2. Says just backed for 200. 200. Which one? Which one did you back at 200? Thank you. Buzztron, thank you for $5. Order number 577 on Ravage, order number 50 on Jungle Comics. So Buzztron is getting in on both books right now.
Wow, we are up over 13,000.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Chuck, I appreciate you coming on. I only have an hour to do this today. I got to get right back to work. But
I got to do the same thing. I was in the middle of something when we started this, and I'm going to get right back to it. But yeah.
What a pleasure to have you.
It's always fun. Always a blast to talk to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I hope you'll come back, will you?
Oh, anytime. Just give me a holler and we'll talk some more.
Beautiful. Thanks, everyone in the chat. Thanks for supporting these comics. Get out there, support these independent comics by these great creators. Support Cyberfrog if you haven't yet. If you haven't yet, I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time, guys. I only got the link for Kill All Men. That's my favorite one. So if you wouldn't mind going over there and supporting that, let's get that project funded, and speak with your wallets. That's your largest voice. Speak with your wallet. So thank you, Chuck, again, and I'll see you again soon.
All right. I look forward to it.
All right.